Yo, what up? What it is? I be that Sequential Geek. Welcome to my channel, Sequential Geek. What is it? It's December 7th, people. The evening of December 7th. 1 year. No cigarette, no nicotine. Haven't touched any tobacco. Damn, amen to that. Yet I feel like I'm so out of shape because I haven't been getting exercise and so forth. But what I have been getting are a bunch of comics, of course. And, you know, like for 50 cents, those machines in like, I don't know, the local corner store, more of like a local type of gas station, liquor store, grocery store, more like junk food and booze that they sell, put in 50 cents, pull out, you know, you get these tattoos. Hopefully this one will work out. God, I hope so. Let's see what happens. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Oh, nice. Cool. New feature to my box collage. BS. Oh, that's cool though. Nice. So, check it out. Yo. What else did I get? We had Freddy Krueger. Something like that. Nice. Okay. And that was it. All right, thanks for stopping by again. Appreciate y'all's time checking out my haul. I also won sort of a random number contest, a promo contest for the channel. J Rule. That's right. One of the first YouTube channels that I was keeping track of before I even had an account. One of them was J Rule. This cat, he's from the Seattle area. Please check him out. Just show this real quick because I really appreciate getting some free comics in the mail. You know, his channel, he's from Seattle, so it's cool to see like that region just north of Seattle. I think that's where he lives. Just checking out like when he goes to flea markets, or he's checking out somebody's garage sale, or a lot of times a whole video while he's hunting in comic shops and also at half-price books. So the finds that he comes across with these real thrift deals, sometimes he catches it live, adds it to his video. Just seems like a really earnest person that's trying to gain subs, kind of a QA. He's looking to do like product analysis, demonstrations on YouTube for companies. So kind of like a marketing / QA type of channel. And he also is all about buying comics, mainly on the thrift. That's one of the reasons why I dug his channel. So when you have a chance, please check out J Rule. This is what I got. Not too familiar with DC, so be like, if this is, anybody knows if this is a good story, maybe I could add this to my next day. Okay, it's like a reader copy. Oh, nice. Exterminators, definitely 80s trash. Wow, that might act, is that 1990? '89, I think. Exterminators Inferno tie-in. All right, check it out. The Coven, #1, Volume 2, Dynamic Forces, exclusive alternate cover, as one of a specially limited series of 5,000 copies. So, nice. Nice cover. Very cool. Digging that. Oh, hell yeah. Marvel Frontier Comics, Children of the Voyager. Direct edition. Paul Johnson art. Tripped out. Never heard of this comic. All right. Galactus. I dig Galactus. Cyberspace 3000. Guest starring Galactus. First Spaceborne issue. Not familiar with who any of these people are. A little bit of 90s garbage, 90s trash. Not necessarily like bad. I mean, just another throwaway story that they made, that little interesting niches that came out of the 90s. Probably bad. I'm just kidding. The New Warriors, Time's Up. Time and time again. Not sure. Never got into Warriors, but right on. What next here? Oh, cool. Superman 1, 2, 3. Now, is this the first? It's a Dan Jurgens story. Is this the first like electric blue Superman? Possibly, like when he returned after dying. Is that essentially like the first version that he was? I don't know. Like I said before, I don't know DC that much, but I remember seeing this on a turn rack at the local bookstore, and just like somebody had like grabbed it right before I wanted to pick it up. Since I wasn't a DC fan all that much anyway, I didn't miss it, but I do remember that. So for an all black cover, there's actually a spine tick right there. The rest of it looks nice. Cool. What is up? So now this is the first appearance, right, of this version of Nomad? Not sure. McKeever, Baldian, Sotomayor. So issue 104, Nomad. If anybody has any feedback on these books, let me know. Oh, cool. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. You read my mind, J-Rule. You read my mind, man. Cool. We got ourselves a tat, people. Nice. All right. What's this from? It says King Black, whatever. Some dedicates bullshit, but this looks cool as fuck. I'll use this in a minute. Okay, so these, yeah, I remember these that he was showing that he was going to give away. That's interesting. Some type of Spawn knockoff. But these are all autographed. I don't know. I told him, I'm like, this stack here of these books, I'm like, you probably want to give them to a children's hospital. That's what I'm going to do. So if anybody knows of anyone that might want these, you might want to do a trade, let me know. But yeah, it just looks like some more like children's oriented stuff here that I'll probably end up just dropping off at like a local hospital, which is totally fine. If anybody knows any information on this PS238, let me know. Dorkstorm is the publisher. Cool. All right. And I'm going to use this badass tattoo I just got after checking out my winnings here from J-Rule. So thanks, J-Rule. I appreciate it. Y'all, please check out his website. His YouTube channel essentially is going to be like product demos. Some of the stuff that he demos, I didn't even know about how some of the stuff works. Like using a voltage meter. But he's got just like other like electronic equipment, or just pretty much anything that you can imagine. He will demo, or he has on his channel. in addition to his comic book hauls, which he will take his camera out to like flea markets and have price books. So it's pretty sweet. New Warriors. Looks like a reader copy somebody might enjoy. This one I'm definitely going to check out. It's got Galactus in it. Same thing with this one. Children of the Voyager. Check that out. Nice. Thank you so much, J. Rule, man. This cover is pretty dope. Nice. Check that out. Oh, hell yeah. Exterminators. And you get your JLA. I'd have to say my favorite DC character would be, it's a cross between Huntress and Green Arrow. And then you got Flash, though. Damn. Let's see now. Some more water. Nice. Nice. Oh, shit. Nice. Check it out. December 7th. 1 year. No cigarette. Woo! Yeah! Oh! Oh yeah! You know it. Yo, this tattoo is brought to you by J. Rule Productions. Thank you, J. Rule. Fucking very cool of you for honoring your word. No problem promoting your channel. Swing by, check out his channel, tell him I said hi. This next little haul, these next few comics I'm about to show. Got these. I got that camera calibrated back on the level. Let's get on with this next few comics I got from Vision Comics and Oddities just this past weekend. Not that many. Stepped inside the store, came out with this trade paperback. I've seen this recommended. This is by Remender and Ticini. Ticini does all the art. They don't switch it up on you. These people are living underwater. Just almost like some very illustrative type of artwork. Not explain it because I'm not that familiar enough with the technique. Basically, it's almost like I was gonna say brush strokes, but for all I know, this could be done digitally these days. Whoa! Sorry for the glare. So that's low. Psyched to check it out. Got that brand new. And then I'm realizing I'm becoming a fan of Storm. These recent buys I've been making. Definitely a fan of Dr. Doom. This is the second part of a 3-issue story arc out of 1981. You know, these are all written by Chris Claremont. So the first issue of this arc had Dr. Doom holding Arcade hostage. So Arcade's like right-hand woman had ended up taking the loved ones of the X-Men hostage on Murder World, which happened to be in the Bahamas. So she's got like Angel and Nightcrawler's girlfriends. She's got Jean Grey's parents. She's got Ilyana, Colossus's little sister. She's got Maria McTaggart. She's got them all held hostage. The X-Men send Storm to distract Doctor Doom. And they try to go and free Arcade. They all end up in their own traps. They all end up getting trapped. So then in this issue, Xavier sends Banshee, Havoc, Polaris, and Iceman to the Bahamas to try and free all those loved ones that were being held hostage. And Storm's building up this tempest because she got turned into this like chrome-like statue, and so she's still conscious, and she's trying to build up the storm to create this tempest to free herself, just to create some chaos, essentially, to get her out of that situation. And then the third part of this story arc, issue 147, has Storm on the cover, and this gorgeous, amazingly striking image of her in this irate goddess mode. And it's all David Cockrum art. Pretty badass image of Doctor Doom for issue 145. And just to finish up the story arc, I got this issue because it is $10. It's like white to kind of off-white pages. So the condition on this comic was pretty nice. I decided to pull the trigger on it just to complete the story arc, even though I had that Doom and Storm cover for the first and third part. Speaking of Storm covers, we've got Uncanny X-Men 165. This is out of cover date January 1983, and we're talking X-Men out in space. I showed an earlier issue of this. Yeah, it was 162, where Wolverine was on the cover trying to fight having one of those brood eggs hatch in his body and take over. So the same thing's going on here with Storm. She's fighting some type of queen brood egg that's inside of her. They end up deciding not to return to Earth, that they're going to go to the brood home world and finish some business. Yeah, in a few issues from now, in issue 167, you actually have a scene where Scott Summers had reunited with his parents. They're in the Starjammer. You've got the Cher Empress Lilandra coming on board using their holographic projector to make a phone call to Reed Richards. She leaves him a message while he's sleeping, telling him that he made a huge mistake letting Galactus live, and how she was going to hold him accountable if he ends up destroying another world, which he does, the Skrull homeworld. And I got issue 176 for $6. It's a great John Romita Jr. cover. It's Bob Witzek doing inks. All right, so you got Scott Summers and Madeline. They're out on their honeymoon. They're both pilots. They end up getting like mechanical difficulties. They didn't exactly crash. So they had to land in the ocean, and it's like giant octopus, squid, whatever's just, attacking them. It's a pretty cool story. I really like John Romita Jr.'s art in the 80s. I didn't have any problem with them. And I even like some of his stuff that he did with World War Hulk. Yeah, I think people give him too much of a hard time. I like the way John Romita Jr. in his like later artwork, the more modern stuff, how he has like almost like Jack Kirby hands. The fingers are very flat. So also in this issue, you've got some history between Wolverine and Mariko. She comes to terms with the fact that Mastermind had manipulated her, which made her get her family into business with this underground crime syndicate out of Japan. I don't think it's the Hand, but she ended up getting their family name dirty. She won't marry Wolverine. She won't stick with Wolverine until she clears her family name. I don't know. There's got to be some catch, right? Wolverine can never just get stuck with somebody. Clan Yoshida. She needs to clear the family name. Interesting thing about this issue and this issue is that this is Paul Smith's first issue, and this is John Romita Jr.'s first issue. He did some pencil layouts in the previous issue, but as far as just doing the pencils on the cover and the interiors consistently, this is John Romita Jr.'s first issue, and this is the first beauty of Paul Smith. Gotta say, I mean, I just see, When I first saw this comic, I just saw like this, like from here up. Didn't see this, didn't notice this, didn't care. Just saw this like really crazy, cool, hot image of this woman right here that I was just like, what is going down in this comic book? Yeah, it was definitely one of the first comics. This cover, and then where you've got Storm fighting Callisto on the cover. That's issue 170. So that's like 5 months later. You've got Storm on the cover fighting Callisto. Just a really cool image of her. Yeah, like that one and this comic right here. Also, issue 169, where I saw Angel with his wings pinned up on that cover. Kitty Pryde's looking pretty hot in issue 168 on that cover as well. But just, David Cockram's all right. But really, Paul Smith is the artist that brought me into the X-Men, I have to say. That was usually around the time when I started noticing the X-Men. You also had the Avengers Annual number 10. That's really what did it for me. And then when I saw Rogue on the cover of X-Men 171, from then on, I around that whole era, I started getting hooked. So yeah, first Paul Smith cover and first John Romita Jr. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that the first Art Adams Marvel comic? No, not first Art Adams Marvel. Let me know. First Long Shot and the Senti story with Art Adams art. He ends up coming from the Mojoverse into our 616 universe, the mainstream Marvel universe, interdimensional adventurer here. Turns out his luck powers really work when he's focused on what he wants to do. It's something that you find out in this limited series here. He initially has this, I think that dude's name is Magog. He just starts growing larger and larger. It becomes less of this cuddly creature of this child-friendly looking thing. Barely is as it is, but you know this guy's evil from the beginning. He knows that Longshot lost his memory when he entered our dimension. And there's like this, like a civil war that's going on in the Mojoverse. If I remember correctly, you got Quark. All these people are manufactured. Spiral was taken from Earth, and then this guy called Arise. He's like this geneticist, like engineer of these people that Mojo has created for his television shows. This guy Arise took this woman from Earth and experimented on her, gave her these extra arms. She produces this black magic. Very interesting story, very unique. Definitely not mainstream. And kind of had this like neo-punk look to him too as well. This was my favorite hero the second I saw this comic. I didn't see a comic, I wasn't keeping up with news and stuff like that in the 80s. I just saw mainly Marvel comics. If I saw something that I liked, I'd buy. And even if I didn't like it, by like the mid 80s, I bought it anyway. Until like around 88. So I love Longshot. I just thought he was really cool. What's he got? 4 fingers. This badass look to him. First issue for $30. Yeah, nice. High grade. By the way, nice high grade. No spine ticks. You see any spine ticks? Let me know. Eh? You see? I'm not saying the corners are super sharp, but I opened it up. The pages look nice. Let's take a look. Nice sheen to it. Shit. Yeah, I want to take care of this. Definitely want to take care of this. FYI, also in X-Men 165, there is a Fantastic Four reference. Check it out. Check it. This comes out January 1983. January 1983. A couple more things significant about this comic. There is a letter Charles Xavier receives in this comic book from Reed Richards. Just letting him know about Karma, that woman, Jane Coy Man, the Vietnamese mutant that ends up in the New Mutants, who first appeared in 1980, Marvel Team Up 100. Her encounter with Fantastic Four in that issue. And I'll tell you in a minute another significance of this from January 1983. Let's move ahead now, though. Another year in time, to a $100 purchase from Italia. That's right. Does it say a date? I'm not seeing a date here. Not sure if this came out in 1984, but we got ourselves the Italian edition of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, issues 1 through 3, all together. Edizioni Star Comics, 7,000 lira. Check out the spine, right? Go like this. It's upside down. Europe, you gotta, your head would tilt the other way. All right, it's pretty awesome. Jim Shooter story with Mike Zeck art. Bob Layton was the fill-in artist. Got that for $100, imported from Italia. Switch gears for a few issues here to DC Comics. Superpowers, people. So this 5-issue limited series, this is the first volume of Superpowers, by the way. You got Jack Kirby doing the plot with Adrian Gonzalez doing the interior pencils. Joe Cavalieri is doing the script. Except for the last issue. It's all Jack Kirby. Now the inks, that's Greg Theakston. Greg Theakston did the inks with Jack Kirby on those covers and the interior just for the last 2 issues. Issues 4 and 5. See, look at that Kirby greatness. You can tell when Jack Kirby's Superman has been inked over by the wrong person. DC is notorious for ruining a lot of Jack Kirby's faces, trying to make them look more marketable, brand identity, matching type of style, house style, so to speak. Whatever, generic. I don't know if I'd say it's something that's become generic, right? But the way that they changed his artwork, but some praise here on Jack Kirby's Superpowers. Issue number 3, and I got them all in newsstand. All this Jack Kirby goodness. Except issue number 2. I got it as a set. It's fucking direct. I wish I had superpowers. Wish I had superpowers. Wish I had superpowers. Give me superpowers, man. Give me superpowers. Some fucking superpowers, man. Superpowers. Yo, I got superpowers, y'all. Superpowers, y'all. So my assumption is that this came out in 1984, the same year, to compete with Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. Yeah, I mean, given it's got Jack Kirby artwork, but it couldn't hold a candle to Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. Got this. This was expensive. Shit. This was a $90 comic. How much did I spend? $90. How much did I spend on this? $90.14. Newsstand. I've got a second print coming in the mail. The second print direct has got a black Spidey in the corner there, as opposed to just the classic Spider-Man image of the first printing from direct. And yeah, dog, I've already got triples of this run. So I just decided to splurge because a chapter is closing. And this whole way I've been spending money and collecting, so past like 5-6 years. We got here in the corner. Considering how clean that spine is, damn, pretty happy. Money, money, money. Money spending. Yeah, and I also had to get another copy of this. Since this is before 1984, 83 is more of a cutoff. Doesn't really matter if it's direct or newsstand, just get in at least VF. But yeah, this is from 1982, a direct edition. June 1982. Fantastic Four 243. That's a John Byrne story. Plot, script, and pencils. So in issue 242, in the previous issue, Terex comes to Earth, basically takes the island of Manhattan and says, I'm gonna fling this island of Manhattan. It's surrounded by some force field. It's going out into space. I think what happened, Spider-Man couldn't get onto the island. Same thing with Thor. And initially, in the previous issue. So the island goes out into space. Terex, Galactus Herald, is like, I'm either going to fling this island at Galactus' ship to kill him, or you guys got to kill him yourself and save Manhattan. So Galactus was on his way to destroy Earth, whatever, absorb the life force of Earth, feed off of Earth, essentially. And in this issue, they not only defeat Galactus, but they almost kill him. They don't, because Reed Richards brings him back to life. Claims Galactus is part of the balance of the universe, the nature of the universe. He's part of the whole universe ecosystem, something along those lines. That is the incident that I was referring to. Incident in this comic right here, that in issue 167 is when Lilandra of the Share Empire uses the Starjammer's whatever holographic projector to send a message to Reed Richards, warning him that he screwed up, and if Galactus destroys another world again, he's going to be held accountable. And he is held accountable, essentially, because Galactus destroys the Skrull homeworld. Frankie Ray, her first appearance as the Human Torch was in issue, 238? Her stepfather is Phineas T. Horton, the creator of the original Human Torch, the android. And when he went to revive the android, there were these chemicals, a vat of liquid chemicals that are used to power the flame of this android, the Human Torch, from the Golden Age. And, you know, that's actually on the cover of the first timely comic called Marvel, right? So he's trying to revive the original Human Torch. These chemicals spill on Frankie. She trips, spills them on herself, and she becomes the Human Torch, this version of the Human Torch. Well, Reed Richards revives Galactus in issue 243 there on the left that I paid $48 for, and $40 on the right there. When Galactus is about to destroy Earth, Frankie Ray offers herself up as a sacrifice to become his next herald, and he turns her into Nova. So on the right there, that is the first appearance of Frankie Ray as Nova. I've actually shown this comic, the Italian version of this comic, in a previous comic book haul, I think like a year ago. Fantastici Quattro. Cool. And also the significance of this comic right here. This is January 1983. This is January 1983. Fantastic Four issue 250. Issue 249 is when the Share Empire's Imperial Guard comes to Earth, and I think they're hunting Skrulls. I thought it had to do with them following up on the warning that Lilandra left to X-Men, but that didn't happen right until X-Men 167, which is March 1983. So here we are in January 1983, cover date, and these people are claiming to be the X-Men, and they're actually Skrulls, because the X-Men are off in space, trying not to become Brood. So essentially we got lots of shape-shifting going on with the X-Men. $5 for that Fantastic Four 250. $10 for this Fantastic Four 277. Y'all got to check out the YouTube channel XVII. His comic book haul number 25 at the halfway point at 28 minutes, 29 minutes. Check it out. He starts going off about this comic because he's talking about the Darkhold and connections with Mephisto, and so just all these comics too that he's able to show from his collection that are in relation to these points that he's making. These historical events, moments that he's matching up with key books. And right here, Fantastic Four issue 277. From watching that, I've been inspired to find this issue, but I haven't found one out in the wild. I've been trying not to buy it online, but I just broke down and got this online. It's a high-grade copy of Fantastic Four 277 at Newsstand. Got it in Newsstand because it came out in 1985. And my friend XVII was talking about how a few years later, in 1989, in an issue of West Coast Avengers, you've got this guy, Master Pandemonium, who was sent by Mephisto to collect these shards of Mephisto's soul, of his essence. And two of those shards Scarlet Witch used to create her twins. I think at least two of them. And XVII was speculating on where did those shards come from. Well, in this issue here, it follows up from the previous issue in 276, where a neighbor notices some strange people down on her block, and she thinks they're witches, and it's just Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and they're in disguise trying to raise their kid in peace in the suburbs in Connecticut, Bellport. So she sends some witch to do an exorcism on the house and those people, and it brings in Mephisto into play, and so their physical forms are left unconscious. The police find that here in this issue, and Dr. Strange, it's another thing here that I find interesting. When I did the review on a few hauls back about the Under Siege story, where Dr. Druid had a psychic connection with the Black Knight, and he knew that when the Black Knight was held captive that, hey, there's something wrong. So it's almost like, if people get held captive and you think this shit hits the fan and they're fucked and nobody can help them, well, there's always going to be that magical psychic connection, that magical interdimensional soul connection. I don't know what. But somebody's going to have a connection, and they're going to realize that somebody's in trouble. Because that's what happened. Dr. Strange came to check it out, offered, because he was a doctor of medicine, he offered to help, and finds out that these bodies laying unconscious on the ground are Sue and Reed, and they're in hell. Mephisto has Franklin. He's also unconscious. Now his being is the only one, it's not in costume. He's not, his clothing doesn't change. I remember reading this when it originally came out, and this was one of the, like, I think I only sent 2 letters in the Marvel. And in this letter, I like dissected this story. I went off about like how, since Franklin wasn't in a costume and he must be more powerful than this and that. And I don't remember what I said at the time. I never heard back, and the letter never got printed. Essentially, it had to do with some foreshadowing of Franklin Richards as this all-powerful being. So anyway, the cool thing about this comic, I can point out real quick. So I'm taking my nice high-grade copy out. The bag, oh my God. Sometimes it's not comfortable to do this, but the story is split up laterally. So we have one story on the top half and another story on the bottom half. The top half story, Ben Grimm, during Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, Ben decided to stay behind. So I think around issue 22 of the comic book Thing, his own comic book series, was around the time when he came back to Earth. And he initially was on Monster Island. And then when he finally, I think Reed, the Fantastic Four, found him there, and they helped him just come to terms with the culture shock of coming back to Earth. He came back here and is now finding out that, his best friend, Johnny Storm, is about to marry his ex-girlfriend, Alicia. Doctor Strange freeing Franklin Richard there in this crystal. It's not the shards that I'm referring to. This, I think it's something like the Canadian price version of this comic book does not have a comic code authority because, there's depictions of torture in here. Sue gets impaled with like a stalactite. Reed gets stretched, I don't know, infinitesimally or something. But, and also, showing this child being held captive. And I think that the reason that it got passed was because Franklin Richards ends up overcoming his captor here. And in the top half, Dire Wraiths. This is involving a story that has to do with the comic book ROM, where he pushed back the Dire Wraiths' invasion of Earth. Shapeshifters that have this barbed wire that hits your forehead. They can change your shape. More shape-shifting. Damn. But since he's, Rocky, it doesn't work. And on the bottom half of the story, Franklin Richards just fucks Mephisto shit up. They wake up. She-Hulk's like, I don't think I'm going to be in this team any longer. Very cool. Unique story there. The 2 stories being told at once. Top half with Thing returning to New York, and bottom half, Mephisto suffering the consequences of messing with the Fantastic Four's son. Yeah, this is when they were really displaying how powerful Franklin Richards was. This is, they're following through on some hints too, right? Because in Fantastic Four, 245, you had that appearance of the adult version of Franklin Richards, and then I think 227, that Doug Munch story. Fantastic Four issue 222, Sienkiewicz doing the penciling there for that cover. Our Son Possessed, Fantastic Four 222, written by Doug Mulch. Yeah, John Byrne was kicking ass in the 1980s. Add into that classic mythology of Marvel lore. Let's not forget some of that sci-fi action. Avengers, issue 257, first appearance of Nebula. Got that for a nice $26. Newsstand, out of May 1986, Terminus, trying to destroy the Savage Land. And yes, I gotta point out Roger Stern. He started writing the Avengers when Monica Rambeau, as Captain Marvel, joined the Avengers. And then in issue 255, that beautiful Tom Palmer painting of Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. And it's that issue 255 where John Buscema started off the classic Roger Stern, John Buscema combo, kind of like Chris Claremont and John Byrne, or like Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, or Stephen Grant and Mike Zeck on Punisher. You know, it's just the combination of John Buscema with Tom with an M, Tom Palmer inks. Just, for me, it was just a classic run. The whole time that I think those two were together with Jim Shooter as editor-in-chief up until like Avengers 287, 284. Yeah, great run if you want to check out some classic Avengers from the 80s. Roger Stern. Check it out. First appearance of Council of Canadians. And this one is the first appearance of Council of Kings. Huh. But even though this is the first appearance of the Council of Canadians, the price was only $29. One was $29 and one was $26. So I'm not sure. All I know is that both me and the seller didn't realize that this one on the left is the Canadian price tag until I was logging them in my spreadsheet. I was like, damn, it's 95 cents. Sweet. First appearance of Council of Kings, the Avengers 267, more Roger Stern and John Buscema. Goodness, with Tom Palmer inks. 3-issue story arc. There is part number 1. There is part 2. Part 2 was just like $6. And then these next two are the last part here. In Avengers, Kang versus Immortus. And the Avengers fight on. Issue 269, which also happens to be part of Comic Book Haul 69, part 17. Don't you know? Did you say that was cool how I got issue 269 and it's part of Comic Book Haul 69? All right, let's wrap this haul up, people. Let's move ahead in time to the early 90s, which takes us back in time to the early 60s. As a matter of fact, 1992 started reprinting classic Marvel comics. 30 years after they came out, Marvel Milestone Edition, a reprinting of Amazing Fantasy number 15 out of 1962. Story by, good question, let's just say script by Stan Lee. First appearance of Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. That is a Jack Kirby cover with Steve Ditko interiors. Don't you know? Get that for $6.27. Coming right up for $1. This is from the same seller. He had an auction. Marvel Milestone Edition. Now these Marvel Milestones, this type of material is kind of sensitive. I don't know, it's like a metallic shine to it, a little bit stronger paper stock, but when there is a flaw, there is a flaw for miles. You can see it. I still felt confident getting this because I wasn't going to go above $5. I got this for $1. Holla. Couldn't resist. Yeah, how's the back look? Yeah, of course the back isn't bad at all. First appearance of Sabretooth. Reprint of Iron Fist 14 out of 1977. It's a David Cockrum cover with Al Milgrom inks. Chris Claremont story. Interior artwork is by John Byrne. Dan Green doing the inks on the interiors. What else did I get from that seller? Is that 1996? 90s trash. Right here. Couldn't resist because it was in a newsstand. Shit. It's a Rob Liefeld cover with John Sabal inks. Yeah, the main word though is Liefeld. That's the two selling points: newsstand edition and classic 90s trash Liefeld. It's a Liefeld plot with Jim Valentino's script. Half the story is illustrated by Rob Liefeld. The other half is by Yape. Y-A-E-P. First half, the first 19 pages. And then 20 through 41 are Rob Liefeld. Also from the same seller for $5, this newsstand edition of Alien vs. Predator issue 0. Says here issue 0 of 4. I mean, I'm not feeling any. Got some dent right there. Yeah, slight. No, it's just from the staple. Yeah, this is great condition for a newsstand, especially. And since it's a Richard Corbin story, for me, it was like a no-brainer. And I got one more comic from that same seller. For $6.50, this New Avengers newsstand edition. I showed off New Avengers #1 in newsstand. Number 10, that was the last part of the Century Story arc. And I just got this one because it just kind of finishes my own like Alpha and Omega with New Avengers. It'd be nice to get the 11th issue, the first appearance of Ronin, but that newsstand high grade is like anywhere from $60 to $90. And I mean, I've been spending money on comics. This particular issue here, like I said, this was it's under $10. It's out of December 2005. So I believe the print run for newsstands was like 2.5%, somewhere around like 2.5%, 5%. I think it was 5% in the year 2000, 2.5% around 2005. Shit, that's some rare ass comic book right there. David Finch cover. Oh yeah, Brian Michael Bendis, long drawn out decompressed storytelling. Fucking A, it was at its finest around this time. I don't consider New Avengers my little shtick on New Marvel. Even during like 99, 2000 till around 2004, like the mainstream Marvel titles, there's 616, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man. They really weren't all that interesting, all that inspiring. Not really up until like the Extremis story and just, until Avengers Disassembled happened. And then some interesting stuff started happening then. Yeah, I would definitely say so. You had the Winter Soldier story that took off. And then previous to that, you had I think it was the John Nay Reber story with Captain America. John Cassaday was doing the art. And that was a new Marvel story, definitely for sure. Captain America was revealing his identity to the world. There's a lot of people revealing their identities or their identities being revealed and just people losing their sense of privacy That theme was going on a lot with identity throughout New Marvel era. Sign of the times, 21st century, anti-culture, figments coming into our consciousness, way of life. So this I just find like a sign of the times for me, like a benchmark of the times. So this new Avengers, yeah, this was the end for me. I think what that Alex Maleev cover of Avengers number 26 was probably like the last one I got. And I just got it on a whim just for that one cover. But this was really around like pretty much my last Avengers comic that I got that was new, fortunately. So wanted to get it in a newsstand because just from the lessons I've been learning and just kind of whittling down feedback that's remained consistent between a lot of channels, regardless of who they are. And a lot of that is get the newsstand, and if you can, get the Canadian price variant. Everything else be damned, really, post 1985. If you really want to care about less and less things to worry about when the day comes to sell my stuff. Thinking about VF or better, and what makes that book more and more unique as a find, like newsstand or Canadian price variant. New Avengers number 12 in newsstand. Some Finch going on here. But yeah, just seeing like Spider-Man and Wolverine, and then this bait and switch character here, and it's just like, and then, you know, we're going to bring this mysterious guy here, and it's really not going to go anywhere. So, I mean, around the same time as this was happening, speaking of that concept of things not going anywhere and just sort of everything being aloof and not really leading to anything, but seeming like they're going to lead to stuff, Lost was going on at the same time. And then the show Heroes was going on, where these marketing campaigns were going on, making it seem like everybody had stuff planned and things were thought out, and they didn't know what the hell they were doing, and the shows went nowhere. And they were very decompressed mostly. So yeah, sign of the times, people. End of days is near. The sky is falling. Look, Spider-Man and Wolverine have joined the Avengers. You might as well say that cats and dogs are living together. New Avengers, number 12. December 2005. 2005, actually. Damn. So, think of it like this. You got this crummy period right here, right? And things didn't really change until you had the combination of Jamas as president, and Buckley running publishing, and Quesada doing his best as editor-in-chief. That didn't happen until around 1998, 99. And then Jamas left around 2003. I don't know. Buckley had different priorities with publishing. Probably knew that Disney was going to be buying Marvel. And Quesada didn't know what the fuck he was doing at that point. He just wanted to throw shit at the wall and see what stuck. And one of them was the events, right? Because you had House of M, the year before this, and Avengers Disassembled on House of M. So they were like, oh yeah, events. Events, baby. Money. So they were wrapping up some little gems too that were going on at the same time as this, like Neil Gaiman's 1602. If you can find Neil Gaiman's 1602 in a newsstand, let me know. I'd be interested. Let's go back a few years to 1991. Just wanted to show this. I finally got this in the mail. Desert Storm Journal. I got another copy here of the B cover. Or it's the second cover. All these Don Lomax comics didn't have any A or B covers. It's all just the comic, right? But this one, Desert Storm Journal, the first issue had two covers. One with Saddam here, and this other one with General Schwarzkopf. This ran for 9 issues, and I just completed my run of Desert Storm Journal. Psyched. Trying to work on now Don Lomax's Vietnam Journal. And there's this guy, Scott Nighthammer is this fictional character's name, and he is a journalist who's in Vietnam in the Vietnam Journal story. His nickname is Journal. And then here he is years later. He's old and gray, and he's convinced to go back into the field to be a journalist to cover Desert Storm. So that's the cool thing about these stories is you've got them, they're written by a vet, Don Lomax, done the art by a vet, And it's not only trying to do respectful, realistic stories about what's going on in Vietnam and Desert Storm, but from the point of view of a journalist. Definitely check it out. I would love to hear y'all's opinion on this. I've done reviews of this comic book before in the past issues of this. So check out my past hauls. Let me know what you think. Or not. Like, I don't want to like shill my channel. I would just love to hear your thoughts on fucking Don Lomax's artwork. I reviewed his comics in my past hauls, and if you come across them, let me know what you think. All right, peace. Let's wrap up this haul with 2 issues. A little something old. I should say it's kind of new. This is from, I think, 2004, 2005. This came with the Legends Toy Biz comic. And it's the not for resale reprint of Incredible Hulk issue 340. $34 I paid for that. Peter David story with Todd McFarlane doing the covers and the interiors. Wolverine fighting Grey Hulk. Cool thing about this, it's still in the poly bag. Not bad condition. All right, well, very cool. Nice. So here we got something from Incredible Hulk 340 out of the 80s. Here we go, about like what, 25 years later? That Jay Lee cover. Wolverine number 16. Blood red newsstand, baby. 2011 Jason Aaron story on that Wolverine dopeness. Let us say, until we meet again, and thank you so much for swinging by. Man. Cats that laid down comments, man. Sending me support. Let me know what it is. What is up? Appreciate y'all's time. I hope you've had a safe Thanksgiving, a little belated happy Thanksgiving here. It's the 7th. Just being really thankful for what I got today, and what I got is from what I did. What I did was abstain from having a cigarette, motherfucker, for 12 months today. Shit. I mean, by the time I edit this thing and get it all whittled down, it's going to be the 8th. So I got over a year now. Holy shit. The longest I ever gone without tobacco smoking was just like 19 months, like 18 months, 3 weeks, something like that. A lot of that was inspired by the entertainment industry. That's not true. But a lot of that was, looking at these images here, I'm thinking, well, a lot of that was inspired by the entertainment industry, because, James Bond smoked, and Wolverine always had that cigar, some type of stogie. It wasn't just cigars this cat was smoking sometimes. In front of Kitty Pryde even too. Remember that one panel where Kitty Pryde tried to take a hit from some stogie or some type of cigarette that Wolverine was smoking? She just turned green, started hacking up, coughing. That was a cool scene. I like that Chris Claremont put that in there, showing her trying it and then just turning green, just being like, no thanks, I'm good. But no. The Oompa Loompas got it right, y'all. What did I find? What did I find in the garage to wrap up this haul? Right? More stuff I'm picking through, right? You saw that, what was it? Marilyn Cole centerfold. Happened to have been the first frontal nude centerfold from Playboy that I showed off a few hauls ago. Shout out to the Comic Crypt, because both my parents smoked, and all my aunts and uncles smoked cigarettes. Check it out, though, y'all. This is amazing. Look at this. What I found. Somewhere in those boxes is a gold card, a Playboy membership card. My dad was an engineer. I found one of his old business cards that said he was some type of like liaison, engineer to sales liaison. So I know he traveled, and I knew he went to the Playboy clubs, like the late 60s, early 70s. He did road rallies, found a bunch of road rally awards. Playboy Club. All right, that's what it says. And second ashtray. I have no idea how common this is today. I just found these to be a couple of gems. I don't think I'm ever going to use these things. And, bring back some good memories. Showing off some ashtrays that remind me good memories of my dad. Okay. No, just wanted to share this with you. I thought this was really cool. Some nice classic mementos of the 20th century. I thought you'd all appreciate the beauty of Playboy, even out of an ashtray, believe it or not. Word. Thank you all for watching. Much appreciated your time. Y'all stay safe this holiday month. And I will see y'all next time. Be that Sequential Geek. Thanks for swinging by. Peace.